Wisconsin and Illinois in prime time on Saturday here on BTN. As we're back on BTN Live, Dave Revsine, Chuck Long, and Gerry DiNardo. And we are joined now by Badgers head coach Gerry Andersen to help us preview that game. And Coach, I do want to look ahead in a moment, but let's look back first. You guys absolutely dominated a nationally ranked Northwestern team on Saturday. I'm curious, how much did the bye help you in terms of preparation in that game? Because it looked like, particularly defensively, you guys were a step ahead of them the entire game.
Well, I think it did help, and when you play well in the bye, you're always going to say that. But I believe the coaches did a tremendous job of developing plans on both sides of the ball, and the kids bought in and were excited. We had good weeks of practice, and we gave them a little bit of time to get fresh. So we used it. As a head coach, you try to make it be as positive as you can to get the kids back coming off a tough loss. You want to not forget it, but move on, which I think they did a good job of. And I was just proud of the effort that the kids gave. They played with unbelievable effort. The fans were unbelievable, as they always are in Camp Randall. But the credit always goes to the kids. But I would also say I really feel like the coordinators and the assistant coaches did a tremendous job of preparing us to play against a very talented Northwestern team.
Coach, one of the great storylines of the season, X and O-wise, is you're changing from a 40 front to a 30 front. Are you satisfied with the change? And maybe tell us what the biggest challenges have been making that drastic of a change in the scheme.
Well, I am satisfied with where we're sitting right now. The kids have, again, accepted it. They've been excited about it. We've played hard in the previous games, but in the Northwestern game, the intensity that they were playing with and how hard they were playing kind of carried over to big plays, which was great to see. The biggest challenge has been, without question, not really from the X's and O's or getting the kids in the right spots, was having the kids understand when you play in a defense that has numerous packages, which we'll walk into most games with 4 to 6 different packages. Those kids wrapping around their arms around the opportunity that they may be able to only play 20 or 30 plays now instead of what they used to play in the base defense of 60 or 70 snaps in a game. That's a transition. The other transition has been a little bit of a challenge is we have a lot of older kids on this team and how we practice them, how physical we are with them to make sure that they're prepared and hitting it on all cylinders, if you will, come Saturday afternoon or Saturday night or Saturday morning. And so that's been a little bit of a different dynamic, but again, the credit goes to the kids. It's been a nice, simple, clean transition, and when you're playing well, it's easier to say it's been a simple transition. Hopefully that trend continues.
Hello, Coach. On the offensive side of the ball, you've added a little pace to your offense, a little tempo. Mm-hmm. How much more are you going to do that? Are you comfortable with that at this point?
I like it. It's definitely a change, and as you go through the first year, there's always more in the playbook, but more is not always better. It's being able to execute what you have and then add the additions when the time is fit and what fits the personnel. And Coach Ludd and the offensive staff are doing a great job of developing the personnel, giving them opportunity. Our kids can handle the pace situation. We're not going to major in it, but if it can give you an advantage and keep people off pace from a defensive standpoint in games, that's good. It eats up some practice time for your opponents, which I always think is a positive. And we'll also have a little bit more Wildcat. We had a little bit of a hiccup on the Wildcat when we ran it in the game and had an administrative penalty, so we kind of went away from it in the Northwestern game, but I think we'll run more of that as we move forward. It's a good way for us to be able to get James and Melvin and Corey on the field at the same time, which is 3 very good players.
Wisconsin and Illinois in primetime Saturday on BTN as we continue to chat with Badgers coach Gerry Andersen here on BTN Live. Dave Revsine, Chuck Long, and Gerry DiNardo.
Coach, we watch you after the game on your press conferences, and early in the season, often you said we really have to work on our throw game. It's going to bite us if we don't. It certainly appears to have improved. What do you attribute its development to?
Well, again, the other receivers other than Jared have really stepped up. In the Northwestern game, Jared wasn't there after the first quarter, and so there's been 3 or 4 young men step up, and Duckworth's done a great job of coming in, playing injured through the week, and then be able to come out and play. And there's been 3 or 4 kids that have popped up and made plays for us, which has been great. I think Coach Beatty has taken that crew and gotten them better every single week. His ability to work with those kids individually, take their positives and continue to make them be a stronger part of their game and take what they don't do so well and focus in on it has been great. But what we've gotten out of those kids is effort, and they've played hard all year long, and now it's starting to pay off for them down the field, and it's great to see. It's a big part of it. And Jared, if he's there, we all know what Jared can do. But his supporting cast is starting to make plays, and the tight ends have become more involved in the throw game also, which is relieving a little bit more pressure off of Jared also. Speaking
of Jared, how's he doing this week? Is it a game time decision? Where is he right now?
Jared's ready to go. So
okay.
He's did a nice job in practice this week. I feel good about his position of where he sits, and he should be ready to play in this game and play at a high level.
Give us a sense on Illinois, Coach. They certainly look as though they have improved offensively. Mm-hmm. What do you see when you watch them on film?
Well, offensively, first of all, they definitely have improved. They have a good feel. It starts with the quarterback. He's a very savvy, cagey veteran. You're not going to surprise them. They have a lot of offense. They hit you in a lot of different ways, and it changes week in and week out. So what you prepare for, you may not see, and some of what you have not seen, you better be prepared to adjust to it on game day. So, I think good offenses and good defenses do that, and that is definitely the case here. So you got to play solid, good base, hard defense. They have the ability to run down the field on you and make big plays down the field. They have very talented running backs. There's an option part to their game. There's a zone read. There's a power run game. There's abnormal formation, so it's a lot of offense. We'll have to be able to deal with that. Defensively, we've got to be who we are is the key for us on offense. We've got to stay ahead of the chains and stay in those manageable situations by down and distance, and hopefully our playmakers can break a couple big plays. As we all know on offense, the key is at some point you've got to have some big plays. It's hard to go 10 and 12 plays, 80 yards, 75 yards, and score enough to win a football game. So we need those big plays, and then we can't turn it over. Last week we lost a turnover battle 3-1. You don't win very many football games when that takes place. So we've got to take care of that, and I'd like to see us take the ball away a little bit more on the defensive side of the football. But Illinois will be a great challenge. It's a night game. I'm sure their crowds are going to be excited, and those kids are playing hard.
We are excited as well to have that game here on BTN. Again, prime time on Saturday, Wisconsin, Illinois. Gerry Andersen, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Go Badgers.